Mr. Moby-Wan,
It's time.
tell me it's time.
It is. It's time.
Praise
It is
be.
time for us to break into the first of two segments we're going to have tonight, listening to some Farewell Solaris,
Ooh.
which is a project being done by my old friend, Jon Shuemaker. He's actually down in the chat right now. He is, what was that? JSH
I think it's J Shu.
JSHU drums. There you go.
J
JSHU
Shu.
drums. There it is. So yeah, we're gonna break into some of his tunes tonight. He's like the featured artist tonight. Of course, we're bringing other stuff, but this is what the show's about tonight. So we hope you guys enjoy it. Starting off, we've got "On the Verge" by Farewell Solaris. So
Mo,
let's do
real
it.
fast before you hit play.
Oh.
Are you jumping right into the second track, or are we gonna pause in between?
We should probably have a discussion pause, I think.
All right.
Just because if I know John's music, we're going to need a minute to talk about it.
Just to digest what's happening.
Exactly. Just analyze what it is that just came into our ears.
Take a deep breath and reassess our lives.
Yes, indeed. I think that that's going to be, at the very least, what happens to us from this music.
I like that. All right. Well, hit me, man. I'm very excited.
All right. Let's do it. On the Verge. Farewell Solaris. Let's go.
That was pretty tight, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
That was. So let me preface any more continued discussion or listening with this. When John sent me the songs, or sent me the link to the songs, he told me that it was going to have more of an OST feel to it, so more of like a soundtrack feel than actual like
Mm-hmm.
songs played in a venue. It was going to sound more like stuff you would listen to when you're watching a movie, something
Mm.
like that. And I gotta say that I feel like that song could have been at home in like a modern day James Bond film, honestly.
Yeah.
Like maybe a part where he's in like Russia or somewhere cold, or you see snow on the ground, or just very easily saw it in that kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Yeah. No, I actually feel really similarly. So for me, I wasn't getting movie soundtrack vibes, and John, you let me know what your intention was with the music, but what that felt like to me, at least as I was listening to it, and I always compare a lot of these, like a lot of our music, to like just in general video game stuff, but for me, it
Yeah.
felt very much like it wasn't the final boss fight, but it was like the final stretch of journey just prior to the final boss, if you will. Like that piano coming in,
Oh,
like that dun 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 dun, like that piano just like throughout. It just, I mean, it was, the whole thing was a crescendo, right? Like it was just building
yeah.
towards this awesome end. And I have to imagine, and John, I'd love to know if this is correct or not. I imagine that this song flows right into the next one, and the next one has a little bit more of like probably a climactic ending to it. I mean, I think the song was literally called "On the Verge." Now that I'm looking at it, so I think that's maybe intentional. Um,
There's the tip.
Perhaps
There's the
it's
tip off.
the song was just the tip, you know. So
Oh,
so
he called it. You called it. John said you were right.
my man, thank you. And I don't know, for me, that's kind of what it felt like. I felt like I was crescendoing up, like if I was doing a side scroller game, like I'm sort of just like continually moving up and to the right, like transcending through the clouds, just ready to face whatever this like demon or whatever this god I'm about to fight at the very end is going to be like. So I don't know. That's kind of the feeling that I got. It was like, because I don't
I
know,
totally see that.
I'm just sort of ruminating at this point, but like it also had like the heavy crunch of the guitar at the same time, like makes it feel like not scary, but just like foreboding almost.
Yes, a
Um,
dark anticipation.
yeah, exactly. Like it's, I don't know, and maybe I'm just really spitballing here or going off the rails, but like the fact that it like juxtaposes such a nice light piano sound, which feels very like, optimistic, almost like optimistic and like positive and like trending in the right direction, like
Right.
juxtaposed against this like foreboding heavy guitar, and then the end sort of is just like crescendoing into this crash. Like it just kind of feels like I am gonna yeah, like I'm gonna face something I don't know how it's gonna, and I don't know how it's gonna go. That's
Like a
kind of how
final boss
that's
battle.
kind of how I got it.
I loved that description.
Thank you.
That was so on point.
Off the head. I'm not, or off the tip of my tongue. I'm not. I didn't pre-think this stuff.
I wouldn't imagine considering this is our first listen, but yeah. Yeah, no, that was very well put, and I 100% agree. Once you put it into words, it felt so like I couldn't say it better than what John just said. You hit the nail on the head.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really good. I
Absolutely
really
great
enjoyed that.
description.
Speaking of MOBAs, what's the next song though?
Well, it's a continuation from On the Verge
Mm.
from Farewell Solaris. It's called Mind Labyrinth.
Ooh.
And before we get into this, I just wanted to let everyone know that's watching right now. I'm going to drop a link to a YouTube video for Farewell Solaris that you can watch all this stuff as much as you want because YouTube. And when I also make the VOD for this into a YouTube video, all the links for Farewell Solaris will be in there, so you can go follow, subscribe, whatever the social media's option is. You want to stay on top of this band. You want to stay on top of this project. I promise you,
It's true.
it's
It's true.
gonna be the best. So without further
Nice.
ado, Mind Labyrinth by Farewell Solaris.
Dude, that was fucking awesome. That was
Dude,
so good.
Same Deal is the first one. It put me in. Whoa, did I? Oh, okay. Are you hearing any music?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure it started playing for me. I didn't know if I had stepped down.
No,
But
you're
yeah,
good. You're good.
Same Deal is the first one, man. That put me in the headspace of like just like this adventure. Like
Mm.
just it was the soundtrack for an adventure.
Yeah.
John, write you need to write the music for a video game, bro. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I want to see Farewell Solaris in the credits for a friggin' RPG.
Dude, Farewell Solaris is a good name for a video game.
Actually, yeah. Let them name the game after your project.
Dude, I don't since I don't play guitar, like I'll probably misspell this or missay this, but like that end where you're just hearing like the held strummed like power chords where it was like bow, down. Like I
Right.
just like those like drony sort of like I mean Down Till it said it really nicely. You get completely lost in it. Like that end was just such
Yeah,
a
dude, it hits you right here.
oh yeah. I mean I feel like my heartbeat. I wish I had a heartbeat monitor on the on the string because it genuinely was going up like it the whole time. That's the 8 string guitar, John. Yeah, it
That's
makes
eight
sense.
string deep.
But like just
That's
that
what we,
like that droning sort of like held noise is so good, dude. So good. Fuck, that was nice.
yeah, dude,
Really enjoyed that one.
that was
If that was meant
just
to be the payoff from On the Verge, I feel paid off. I feel like my debts were settled.
heck yeah, dude. Anyway, I feel like everything needed to be said on that one.
So this next song, Mo, tell me a little bit about what it's called. What are we going to be going on? Is it a journey? What's your guess?
Well, if I had to guess from the title, I'd say that we're going to be going on a flight,
A flight.
considering the song is called First Flight.
Icarus. I'm ready for Icarus.
Let's hope we don't burn our wings being too close to the sun. This is
Oh,
First Flight
well done, Mo.
by Farewell Solaris.
Set that up and you knocked it down.
Thank you, sir.
Damn, that was awesome.
That was so sick, dude. So that one put me on like an exploratory journey
Yeah.
to like an underground city, like possibly sunken, probably just beneath a miles underground.
Are you thinking
Just
about
something.
Atlantis?
I was actually thinking more along the lines of a non-horror Bioshock.
Ooh.
Yeah, just where you're like this
Ooh.
place that's so obviously civilized, but from so disconnected from society, and you're just going around exploring. I mean, without there was obviously nothing scary about that song, so I didn't think a Big Daddy was going to come and drill me to death. But it it's hard to put an exact word to it. I just felt like I was somewhere that had been lost to time and memory,
Mm. Dude,
setting the first set of eyes that had been on it in centuries.
I can see how you get there. I mean, it's definitely that's a track. I mean, I hate to steal from what Downtilt said earlier, but I mean that was a track you get lost in. I mean, the
Yep.
first minute, I wasn't really sure where it was going to end, but I felt like once that first minute mark passed in those when the heavy guitar sort of came in for the first time and then sort of just stayed throughout. It's gonna
Right.
sound silly. I could have fallen asleep to that. I could have just like
Dude,
totally just like
absolutely.
slumbered away.
That first bit was just so chill, and then I mean it got bigger when the guitars came in, but you're right, it was just
It's really
so
smooth.
mellow. Yeah, smooth as silk.
I can see your point about like sort of an exploratory moment, and I think that's the point, right? Like if it's a first flight, like I know we made that joke about Icarus, our poorly timed mythology joke, but like I mean to a degree, I kind of get the feeling, right? Like there's this innocence, maybe is the way I would describe it, that comes with that, which I think is cool. I don't
Right.
know. Overall, a really cool track. I really enjoyed that one. I mean, different from the other ones we listened to for sure, especially Mind Labyrinth, which I thought had a little bit more like oomph to it. Like it was that payoff to that first track with some On the Verge.
Right.
It didn't have as much of a heaviness to it, but it definitely was melodic. It was interesting. I mean, I think what John said earlier, like the idea of it's the whole thing's kind of complicated and there's just a lot of moving parts. You can definitely feel that. But I mean, overall, I mean, I feel like they worked well together. It was like a I don't like Supreme Pizza, but it was a meat lover's pizza with all sorts of flavors on there, and it doesn't seem like they should work, but they do.
Right. No, you're absolutely right, and I actually I love that metaphor. It's perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I like that one.
Indeed. Well, then let's keep on going with Farewell Solaris. We got the last song for you guys tonight from them. Like I said, 4 of the 7 songs from this album is City Night Grind, which I'm already in love with that name.
It feels like I'm about to jump into the world of cyberpunk.
Yeah, actually, I could see this. I could see a song titled this playing while I'm exploring Night City.
Mm. Mm.
So I'm excited. Let's give it a listen. This is City Night Grind by Farewell Solaris. the fuck was that?
That came
Like,
out of that came out of
that came
nowhere
out
at
of
the end.
literally nowhere. Okay, so right up until that point, I was gonna say, "Wow, this is my first exposure with freeform jazz," and then suddenly,
Dude, that was real. So Sid had the exact same reaction as me. He just wrote "ooh" when
that
that
rhythm
like
change.
when that like rhythm tempo change sort of just dropped.
Yeah,
Ooh, that got really smooth really fast. That was
it
like
did.
it kind of just felt like someone squeezed me through a tube of butter. And I was just like, you know what I mean? Just sort of like in there all of a sudden. Felt good.
I mean, yeah, dude, hell yeah,
Do you like that
tube
visual?
of butter. Yeah, that was. I'm not gonna stay up late at night having to try and sleep past that one. No, yeah, no problems.
No,
Shit.
I really like that. So City Night Grind, you said loosely inspired in the beginning by Harvey Bird, Attorney at Law. Is
I
that an it,
genuinely think that's a joke.
I don't
Like,
know. I'm not sure.
I remember that Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, was an old Adult Swim
I was
show.
gonna say I thought it was. Was it on like Toonami?
No, it was actually on Adult Swim. Like,
Ah,
before they started being crazy about anime, it was. I can't remember. I mean, Birdman was an
or
old
my
superhero
yeah.
that didn't really. I mean, he had a small following. It was like Space Ghost, and they did the same thing that they did with Space Ghost and made a parody show about him. Harvey Harvey Birdman was Birdman turned into a lawyer, like Space Ghost was Space Ghost turned into a friggin' late night talk show host. It was genius, but
It
I,
was good.
it's the game. I think I ruined the reference. You don't ruin the reference, brother. It's just that the reference is lost on us.
Yeah.
It's our failing, not yours.
It's definitely not. I mean, in general, the whole thing, like the previous songs, was layered, complicated. There was a lot of different moving parts, but again, I thought it was
Oh yeah,
fun. Like, I mean, the obviously the explosion at the end is really cool, and I thought that was like a nice like change of pace towards the end. But I mean, like, I don't know how I don't know if John recorded or if John recorded the, I think it was a brass instrument. I'm not sure exactly which one, saxophone perhaps. Um, himself or if that was like a keyboard plugin. But either way, I mean, like a cool change of pace and just like an interesting layer on top of what you would traditionally think as like experimental metal-y kind of music. So it was really
yeah,
cool. I mean, in general, just like
definitely.
I think across all the four tracks that we listened to, unique, right? I mean, totally unique. You know, I think I think Sid had a good point. The algorithm, I get some explosions in the sky vibes. I get some cloud kicker vibes. Just cool. I mean, just generally fun music and something you can really
Yeah,
just sort of I don't know. I think get lost in is a good way of putting it. You play
that is a
guitar
great
for it,
way to
MIDI
put it.
pickup. That's sick, dude. I didn't know you could
And
do that.
it'll not only get lost in, but get lost in so many different directions. I mean, this
Hmm.
this album really is just a lasagna of music. It's just layers of different
Mm.
stuff. It's crazy.
More Italian food references to describe this.
Always
describe this.
Italian food references, please and thank you.
That was good. I really enjoyed that. Okay, I think we have what one or two more tracks.